Welcome back. The doll sitting at Toya's side appeared to shake for a moment. That's right, the last episode was actually interesting. We have a new character. That doll gives me the goddamn creeps, for real. Same. Sorry, I need more volume. You sure treasure that thing, huh? Tch, I'd throw it right in the trash if I wasn't told to leave the damn thing alone. Indeed. There was a wet sound, followed by the sweet scent of saliva. Hello? Saliva has a sweet scent? Am I missing something? Toya's lips shone sensually. Okay. As a thin silver string trailed from them. Drool. Incredibly sensual. And once more she put the boy's toes right in her moist mouth. Thank you for making me read that today. You know, you'd be a real fine piece of A if you weren't such an effin' nut job. Okay. I didn't say to stop. Keep going, you dumb shit. Ow. The boy kicked Toya in the chest with his bare foot. I mean, she should just kick him back. But like a dog, she grovelled before him yet again. Why is the story suddenly taking this turn? She started sucking his toes once more, like a baby would its mother's breast. The school's bike lot was empty, except right before and after school, and so had become a gathering spot for delinquents. Thus, delinquent groups would often meet up here during lunch break and the like. About 10 of them were here at this moment. They would curse, spit, and tell each other all sorts of crude stories with deplorable smiles on their faces. A ways apart from them was their leader, Sho Kamenuma, getting his toes sucked by Toe Kurokami. You got some real odd tastes there, Sho. No kidding. There are better places you could make her do that. Please move on. Relax. I know what I'm doing. I'm saving that for after we're married. Sides. Wouldn't do no good if a teacher came by and I got it caught in my fly trying to hide it now, would it? I feel like I'm having a stroke trying to read how these people talk. Ow, I told you to watch your effing teeth. Bite his toe off. It seemed Sho had gotten the area under his toenail stuck in Toya's tooth, while he'd been convulsing with laughter. Well, I'm already ready to turn this game off again, so... He suddenly roared angrily and kicked her away with his free left foot. Toya's slender body fell right over. Sho must have shown her no mercy, ha ha ha. However, it seemed she didn't even understand the cruelty inflicted upon her. For she grovelled before Sho's foot yet again, and started trying to suck his toes, her expression never changing even once. Thank you for ruining my day. But Sho, fed up by this point, placed his foot on Toya's face and kicked her down again. Stop it. Ah? The hell? Violence is wrong, you know? Yeah, you tell him. Dare. Who the hell are you? It's that punk Susuhara from 2A. The delinquents considered this place their stronghold, their sanctuary. Ah, yes, I love being in the dark surrounded by nothing but bicycles. Very hardcore. They hated it when outsiders stepped on their turf. So they frowned, rose to their feet, and glared at Suzumu. Kurokami, if you don't want to do this, you need to say so. If you're not in a position to speak for yourself, I'll tell the teachers for you. The hell? So you're a snitch? You got some serious balls on you there. You got any idea what we're gonna do, Tia, once you rat us out? Huh? Just pump your tires and beat it, dumbass. Suzumu had brought a tire pump he'd borrowed from the superintendent's room. As you do. He'd come because his tires were low on air. Presumably. Come to think of it, Kiko did tell me she wouldn't recommend doing it during lunch, didn't she? Now I see why. She was implying this place was a den of delinquents. That sounds like a cool rock album. Suzumu was tense in his own right, but it didn't look that way. And that pissed the delinquents off. Look, buddy, you've got it all wrong. Toya ain't doing this because I'm forcing her to or some shit. Ain't that right, Toya? Toya staggered to her feet and stared blankly at Suzumu. She wrapped her arms around Sho and clung to him with all she had. But her expression remained the same even then. This chick's my girl, Yassi. He's very eloquent. Doesn't seem like the kind of person you should be kicking then. I just got a little carried away is all. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't know what's going on between us, so F off. I can't imagine what could be going on between you that would make that okay. Hey, enough with the bullshit or your ass is dead. One of the delinquents stepped forward and grabbed Suzumu by the collar. Mess him up. But Suzumu simply grabbed his arm, unfazed. Indeed. Yeah, mess him up. Hey, you okay? Ow, he's strong as hell. Kya, ow. Indeed. It was at that point the delinquents noticed Suzumu's unassumingly rugged fists. Unassumingly rugged fists. Poetry. The lack of fear he showed when faced with their numbers made it easy to imagine he was trained in martial arts. They glared furiously at Suzumu, but didn't try to grab him again. Just then, the bell rang, signaling the end of lunch break. Suzuhara from Class A, right? Don't think I'll forget you anytime soon.
さっきの乱暴を黒髪さんに謝らない限り
Until you apologize to Kurokami for what you did.
僕も君のことは忘れないから
I won't forget you either. Huh?
なめてんのかてめえこの場で知るかあ
There's so much swearing in this. The F? You making fun of me? You wanna effing die right here? Huh? He hadn't imagined Suzumu would actually talk back. I mean, he just messed up his friend. Why wouldn't he talk back? Surging with white-hot rage, Sho pulled a metal bat out of a nearby bike's umbrella stand. Also where I keep my bats. The F are you doing? Someone's angry. Oh. Suzumu finally looked surprised when he realized that shout had come from Tsubakiko. Indeed. Bakiko. Bakiko, huh? This ain't your fight. The voice. Suzumu's one of mine. Kora. You want to get slaughtered, bitch? You can't even fight fair. Why don't you grow a pair, you effing pussy? Oh my, the language. Kora. You effing B. You're dead. I'm gonna effing kill ya. Sho, don't do it. Calm down. What'll the upperclassmen say if we cause a scene? I think you've already caused a scene. F. You live this time, Suzuhara. But don't think this is over. I won't. You can count on that. Sho left in a huff as the other delinquents tried to calm him down. Toya staggered on after them.
Kurokami-san.
Kurokami. But before Suzumu could ask if she was okay, ow, Toya pushed him away. Fair enough. And for the first time, the two looked each other in the eye. Though Toya's face was blank, her eyes were brimming with emotion, with tears and rejection. Why? Late. Huh? Her tears streaked downward and fell to the ground. Oh. Toya pushed Suzumu away again and left. Suzumu watched her leave as he reflected on her parting words. Why? You're too late. She'd said that. He knew. Great! The great Suzuhara strikes again. All those punks stared you down and you didn't even flinch. You really are the great man I took you for. Yeah, call him out. And you're a real wimp, Atsuta. You hid the whole time. Drag his ass. If I were your girlfriend, I'd dump you on the spot. Well, I'm still training. I'm not ready for a girlfriend just yet. Thanks, Kiko. You saved me. No, dayo. Just don't go picking fights with those idiots, okay? This is why I warned you not to go to the bike lot during lunch. I'm sorry. I thought you just meant that it'd be a waste of my time. But anyway, you were really cool back there, Kiko. Great! Yeah, those were some great fighting words, all right. Oh, so you don't know, do you, Suzuhara? You see, back in middle school, Harumiya. Mess him up.
昼休みは終わったよ。早く戻ってレッツ5次元目をスタディしないとね。
Okay, lunch is over. We need to hurry back for 5th period and study. Study, yay!
夏くん、どうしたの？具合悪いの？
What's wrong, Natsu? Do you feel sick?
さあね、つわりじゃないの？私が肩を貸すから、鈴は早く教室に行って。
Who knows? Maybe it's morning sickness. I'll give him a hand, so hurry on back to class, Suzumu. Okay, they need to bring back more of her other personality. It appeared more like she was giving him a headlock than a hand, though. That was genuinely funny. By the time class resumed, Kurokami was back in her seat, holding her doll and staring off into space like always. Why? You're too late. The way she was in class, I couldn't imagine her speaking her mind as clearly as that. I thought I knew what I'd heard, but I was starting to wonder if it was my mind playing tricks on me. Kurokami, what did she mean by too late? I used to be so indifferent, but I found that I couldn't get my mind off her for some reason. Too late, as in past the point of no return. But what? What didn't I make it in time for? Black snow started gently falling between us. That's probably not a good thing. No, not snow. Soot. Still not a good thing. Jet black soot piled up, burying me and Kurokami's world in darkness. The final class of the day ended, and my classmates filed out of the room one after another. But instead, I walked over to Kurokami.
何か力になれることがあったら言ってね。
Listen, if there's anything I can help with, just let me know, okay? There's nothing. You're far.
遅すぎる。
Too late? Kurokami said nothing. Thank you for the thrilling conversation. That silence was a clear affirmation that by too late, she was indeed referring to me.
わからないよ。僕の何が遅すぎたの？
I don't get it. What am I late for?
僕は非力かもしれないけれど、
Perhaps there's not much I can do.
黒髪さんが苦しんでいるなら、それを救うことができるかもしれない。
But if you're suffering, maybe I can save you from that. Huh? Indeed, it is the most thrilling conversation. Her eyes were glazed over. Nothing I said was getting to her. There was nothing more I could say to keep her there. Thanks for the thrilling conversation. What? It seems like the two of them are actually engaged, believe it or not.
いいなずけ？黒髪さんとあいつが？
Engaged? You mean Kurokami and that other guy?
亀沼のやつがすすだに引っ越してきたのは中1の時らしいんだけど。
Though Kamenuma only moved here back in 7th grade.
あんなクズのどこがお眼鏡にかなったやら。
I have no clue what she sees in that scumbag.
中学では有名だったぜ。いいなずけがいるやつがいるらしいってな。
Seems he was famous back in middle school for having a fiancé at his age. Well, yeah. Not exactly normal.
そんなことに。
How did it happen? Sho Kamenuma had moved to Susuda only 4 years ago. On the other hand, the Kurokamis were a family who'd owned a lot of land in this region for generations. What could the two families possibly have in common? In contrast to the wealthy and famous Kurokamis, the Kamenumas barely had a penny to their name, to say nothing of land. But by that autumn, Sho Kamenuma was already engaged to Toe.
何しろ多感なお年頃だからよ。学校中で話題になったぜ。
It's not every day you hear about people getting engaged that early. It was a hot topic in school back then.
あいつも最初はさぞや浮かれただろうね。
I'm sure he was positively thrilled at first.
でもすぐに黒髪さんがちょっと何のある子だと分かったみたいで。
But I don't think it took him long to figure out just what kind of girl Kurokami is.
どうしてあいつは亀沼くんは許嫁を引き受けたんだろう。
Why did Kamenuma accept the proposal?
噂が本当なら黒髪さんの一目惚れなんだって。
From what I hear, Kurokami fell for him at first sight.
一目惚れ？
At first sight?
どうしても婿養子になってほしいって黒髪家が拝み倒したんだってさ。
They say the Kurokamis begged him to marry their daughter.
その際にとんでもない金を積んだって噂だぜ。
Word is, a big sum of money was involved.
それで亀沼のやつグレートに羽振りがいい。
Great! Seems that's how Kamenuma got so influential. Toe Kurokami. She wasn't ordinary, that much was certain. It wasn't absurd to imagine her family going to great lengths to get her a husband. Aren't these people like 16, 17? Still though, that didn't explain why they'd chosen a boy like that, of all people. If they'd loved one another, then there'd be no issue. But it hadn't looked that way to Suzumu at all. At the very least, Kamenuma treated her more like a pet than anything else. And it hadn't felt like Toya held any love for him either. Too late. Because Suzumu had been too late, she'd been forced to accept this fate. It almost looked as though she'd resigned herself to that outcome, and suppressing her emotions, had sworn obedience to Kamenuma as a result.
じゃあな、また明日な。
Bye! See you tomorrow. Natsuya waved goodbye to his friends in front of a deli in the shopping district. Oh, it actually says Atsuta. Atsu. Indeed. There we go. The shop's name was Atsuta's Piping Hot Deli. His family ran the place. Suzumu and Tsubakiko waved back as they left.
すずむ、しつこいと思うかもしれないけど
Suzumu, you'll probably think I'm being stubborn, but
黒髪さんに近づくのは良くないと思うよ。
I really don't think you should get involved with Kurokami.
どうして？
Why's that?
うまく言えないけど
I don't really know how to put it.
良くない感じがするの。
I've just got a bad feeling about it.
そうかもしれないね。
Maybe you're right.
少なくとも彼女は遅すぎたにせよ。
She says it's too late, at least.
救いの手を求めていたのだけは間違いないと思う。
But she's looking for someone to save her. I'm sure of that, if nothing else.
すずむ、
Suzumu!
それが良くない感じの雰囲気になって感じられるんだと思うよ。
And I think you can tell that's dangerous ground to be treading.
すずむ、
Suzumu!
キコちゃん。
Kiko!
私もう一度警告するからね。
I'll warn you again, okay?
すずむは黒髪さんに近づかない方がいい。
You shouldn't get involved with Kurokami.
絶対に何か恐ろしいことが起こるから。
Her ribbon has a skull. I love it. Something terrible will happen. I just know it.
どうして
How?
そんな。
私の第六感すっごく当たるんだよ。
My sixth sense is always on point. Are those camellias in the background?
ありがとう。用心するよ。
Thanks. I'll be careful.
用心しながら近づくよって意味でしょ。もう知らない。
You mean you'll tread carefully, don't you? Fine. Forget it. Tsubakiko stuck out her tongue and slammed the door to her apartment. I walked into my own apartment and closed the door. He has a single cactus. How nice. Entering my own space, isolating myself from the outside world, filled me with an odd sense of lethargy. Okay, might want to get that looked at. Sure, it was a relief to be home, but I also had the strangest feeling that my door was like a portal to another world. Though it was warm enough to make me sweat a little out there, it was cool in my room. Almost like the place was too big for me alone. He has like a meter space to walk in. How was it too big? I didn't know why, but I felt like I'd been here on my own for a long time.
汗をかいたね。シャワーを浴びよう。
It must be the sweat talking. I'll go take a shower. That makes perfect sense. When I was alone, I tended to talk to myself to ward off the stillness of it all. Perhaps it was a bad habit of mine. I hung my school uniform up and entered the bathroom with a fresh pair of underwear in hand. The bathroom was humid when I went in, almost as though someone had only just finished bathing there. I picked up the scent of bathwater. What? Bathwater has a scent? Had someone used my bath? I have never smelt bathwater before. Someone's scent was lingering amidst the heat. As it dawned upon me that I didn't recognize whose it was, I felt a twinge of unease. How do you recognize someone from their bath scent? Confusing. I'm not going to ask. I slowly yet gently pushed open the door to the bath. Oh, it's that same thing. The demon! Bring back the demon! And when I did, heat rushed out along with a sickening body odor. Oh! In the bath was meat. The meat has returned. No, it was probably a person. Ew. Something slovenly and obese, bringing to mind a distended stomach bulging with fat and grease. Do they really have to describe it that way? I can only suck in so much air. Curly black body hair, ew, peeked out between its swollen fold, ew, filling me with disgust and revulsion. Same. Blemishes and shaggy moles, crimson scars from scratching sweaty itches too hard, gross. Skin as hard as scabs outside the joints, bruised blood vessels that wriggled like worms, and an acrid stench like sweat and candle wax, what? That spread with the heat and clung to my nostrils. Time to find a new apartment. A blob of meat, like an especially disgusting middle-aged man, was sitting right there. Oh gosh. All of a sudden, it squelched and twisted. I couldn't tell what was its front and what was its back, but it was clear it had noticed me and was turning to face me. Blob. The blob is oddly eloquent. It sounded like a man's voice put through a filter to protect his identity, like you'd hear on the news. I was sure its words meant something, but I couldn't understand it at all. All I could make out for sure was a spine-tingling laugh. Past the blob, I could see a bundle of black hair. It was a girl with long black hair and snow-white skin. No, the doll. A doll, the size of a human. Its joints clearly indicated it was what they called a ball-jointed doll, okay? That was phrased really weirdly. The blob held that doll as it turned around. When I saw the doll's face, I couldn't help but gasp. Because that was Kurokami's face. Nani? It wasn't the face of a doll modeled after Kurokami. Everything from the head down was a doll, but the head itself wasn't. It was her face, her head. Yeah, what he said. One of Kurokami's joints screamed with a sickening crack. I couldn't tell what the blob was saying, but it was obvious id returned its attention to Kurokami. The blob fiercely embraced the doll attached to Kurokami's head and greedily sucked on it. Ew. The ball joints creaked with pain and moaned in the exact same rhythm. Kurokami broke out into a cold sweat and gritted her teeth. She was clearly in agony. She's a doll. How can she sweat? Yet oddly enough, my heart felt relief in the face of that repulsive terror. Okay. The disgusting relief that the blob wouldn't do anything to me while it was busy with Kurokami. Okay, occasionally there would be a crack and one of the ball joints would bend in an anatomically impossible direction. Even Kurokami couldn't help but moan in agony. I couldn't even begin to imagine the harrowing pain she must have been in. I didn't know how long Kurokami would hold the blob's interest, but eventually it would get bored, and when it did, I would be next. A part of me wanted to fight to save Kurokami. However, the grotesque blob before me and my fear were both so overwhelming, I didn't know what I could do against that thing. But I couldn't just ignore Kurokami's suffering. If I couldn't work up the courage now, I never would. Leave Kurokami alone! All of a sudden, the blob stopped. And then, it slowly but surely turned back to face me. Fear and regret seized me from head to toe. There really was a fine line between courage and reckless naivety. I can't pronounce that, wasn't there? The ability to feel calm and safe when faced with such terror was truly a luxury. So eloquent. The blob was surely laughing at me. Oh, it then stopped toying with Kurokami and tossed her in the hot water of the tub. Kurokami's body sank into the bath with a loud splash and vanished. What rose out of the water next wasn't Kurokami. Alright, we're going to end this episode here. Things have gotten extremely weird. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what's going on. This story seems all over the place. Come back next week and I guess let's find out something of what's going on. I'll see you guys then. See ya.